Hi guys, Sky here, and we have Stormy here.
Hello.
Today we're gonna go talk about our thoughts on the second episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Just kind of go into what think about it, and you know, just what overall how we saw the episode in the whole like context of the plot.
Yep, I think the first main point here, for anyone obviously who's seen the second episode, is that it doesn't feel like it has a lot of plot to it. I mean, we get the whole, like, oh, if you do this, I'll help you out kind of deal, but, like, it doesn't really feel like, I don't know how to put it. Like, it doesn't really feel like it has a lot of, like, mainstay, like, oh, this is gonna be used in the future. And it kind of felt like the first episode for most of the first episode, other than the introduction, where it felt like oh, we have this plot, but we're not gonna use it. It really feels like a filler episode. And if you watch obviously the second episode, you'll kind of understand what we mean. Where like it starts off as like, oh, there's potential to be this big thing, and then it just doesn't happen. We just go through an entire episode pretty much struggles. I don't know what the species of the frog that he transports, but like it's like, oh yeah, we gain your trust, so you can help us. Obviously Mando has to go through, the ice planet. I don't know. Do we know the planet?
Um, I'll tell you in a bit.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what it might be, but I'm not sure. Um, and like oh, we see the is it New Republic?
yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like that was the only really real interesting part of the episode. I mean, I don't know what people are gonna say like in terms of like future episodes, but like it felt like it didn't have a lot of direction on it. It felt like it was just kind of like a play box. What do you feel like, Sky?
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying, the ice planet is called Maldo Crace.
Figure.
So, yeah. I thought it was a good episode for what it was. Like, it didn't really add anything to the plot or, like, do anything. Like, it was just sort of like, I mean, it's kind of like a filler episode, to be honest. Like, I like it was good. Like the special effects were good. I like the whole like spider sequence. Like I'm not a big fan of spiders. Like they creep me out. But
I mean, the entire episode kind of felt forced. I don't know if that's the right way to explain it, but like if you guys have seen like I'll make a pretty interesting throwback. If you guys have seen Clone Wars and you saw season 2, it kind of felt like that where like it felt like it was meant to have more plot in it, but the plot was like overdriven by like side filler. And it's really interesting because obviously like this is a fairly big budgeted series, and like it's one of the biggest series out there right now, in terms of like new blockbuster type series. But like it feels like, oh, they just took an idea, ran with it, and made it filler. I mean, maybe that's a hint for later episodes. Maybe we're gonna get like a big plot series like inside of the series, like maybe a big arc. But like it doesn't feel like it gives us anything like useful. And like obviously we, cool, we get to see a new species, but like that's not like that exciting. And like you see Baby Yoda eat her spawn, which I thought that was the only bit of like laughter I had like throughout the entire episode. There wasn't really any humor. I mean, you see like him making a deal for obviously finding more Mandalorians, but like I don't feel like that's like main plot. It feels like a side quest almost. And if you look at the episode, you'll kind of get what I mean, where I say like, oh, even the scenes felt like they were side quests. Like it didn't feel like it offered anything towards like the series. It just like was there.
yeah, and kind of like what going into what you were saying right now. Yeah, it was just I don't know how to describe. Like it was just an episode to be there. Like it didn't really like they didn't have to make it, but they did. But
And
I mean, I think it just gave us. Because I'd have never seen that frog species before, so that was kind of cool that they showed that. And I don't know, like I felt like that whole thing where she uses um the
I
droid
was
to
about to
like
bring that up.
speak
Yeah.
speak with the Mandalorian and
Yep.
like say how like she was like that was like their last species and like they needed like that's why she was traveling to be safe and like grow her like civilization again. I thought
Mhm.
that was kind of random.
Yeah, and it's like I was gonna compare it. I forgot what I was gonna compare it to, but I was gonna say like unless like that species plays like a big role in the series, why focus on it? I mean, I could definitely see like oh like later in the series maybe they help him out or maybe they offer help. But like I don't see that as a plot point. I just see that as like oh, we did this. Like that's what it is. And we don't get to see a lot of the episode like I was saying like don't you feel like the scenes are kind of like lackluster? They just kind of happen. It has like no like important information. Like none of the series is like very well thought out so far for season 2 and it's like it just feels like oh yeah okay so we're doing this now. Ooh, giant spider. Like I feel like it's like almost like a trope. Like it's almost like what we should expect in most series. Like there's always one episode where it's just like they're escaping from something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, like there was nothing special.
like it felt like obviously again like I said Baby Yoda with the whole like eating her spawn like that was funny but like it was like almost like potty humor. Like why is that the
Yeah.
only thing in the episode that's interesting?
Okay, here's what I think happened. I could be wrong about this, but just sort of what I got from it. So, if you weren't aware, the director of this episode was Peyton Reed, and I guess you could say his most like familiar work is both Ant-Man movies. And like if you look at his track record, like he doesn't really have that much like standout movies. Like and I mean I felt like what happened here was like John Favreau wrote the episode and on paper it was probably better and then it was just badly executed by Peyton Reed because like I feel like he doesn't have that much experience like with whole like action. He's more of like a comedy director, so I think that's why it failed.
And another point to make is like I felt like the beginning of the episode was a little bit misleading. Don't you feel like it felt like oh there's gonna be some big plot. I was really like interested like seeing him obviously going like going to the sand area and take out I what I assume would be people trying to take the child. But like it felt like oh this is gonna be some big episode like oh like this could potentially be like a continuation. It felt like it was gonna be more important and like it wasn't. Like I just feel like the direction like should have been established in the beginning that it was a filler. I mean, I don't know how you
Yeah,
can consider that main plot, but
actually, I think that was just my favorite part of the episode, that opening sequence.
definitely.
And then, yeah, I mean, I thought it was really like Western, sort of.
Mhm.
And The Mandalorian is sort of like this Western, like cowboy sort of show. And I feel like that was the only scene like we've seen where that's really like reminiscent.
Yep. I like the part where he gives the I don't know what the species is, but he gives the little guy the jetpack. uh
Yeah.
yeah. That was like almost entertaining. I keep forgetting that that's kind of the callback, but yeah.
I mean, I think that's just the perfect example of how like you were saying it was misleading because like you go from like the Tatooine to this ice planet and it's kind of like oh
Yeah, and it feels like the episode really didn't tease anything for us. I mean, I felt like there was, other than the beginning, I felt like there was no real purpose. Like it ends on them leaving. Like how is that? That doesn't. And even the ending felt like a disappointment. Like at least they could have given us something.
Yeah, I think it would the episode would have worked better if it had a longer runtime
Hmm.
and it dove more into the plot because it was just them like trying. The whole episode was just them trying to like move around, and it ultimately failed because of the whole spider plot and the frog.
To be honest, though, when I saw Baby Yoda start walking towards them, I immediately knew, oh, it's gonna be spiders. I don't know, I don't know how many other people felt that, but as soon as you see him take out the little like, I guess it was a small tiny spider that he ate, but as soon as you see him walking past those little like stone-looking things and you find out they're eggs, I was like, oh, it's spiders.
I didn't
Like,
think it was spiders, and then because I thought it was just like eggs, like for something, but I didn't think it was a spider.
yeah, I was like,
So I
oh,
was
it's
kind of
spiders.
yeah. But I mean, hopefully the next episode is more story based and it adds more to like the whole plot of Din like delivering or finding like the species like
Hmm.
utter like background because I mean that's the whole like overall plot and it hasn't really like developed.
So, what's your final thoughts on like the episode as a whole and like the series so far for season 2?
I would give it like a 7 out of 10.
Hmm.
Like I feel like it's a good episode for like what it is, but it doesn't work if you like rewatch this. Like if you were to do a binge watch of the whole series, like when both seasons are out,
Hmm.
I feel like that would feel kind of off.
What are your like opinion? Like, what's your opinion on like the direction of season 2 as a whole so far?
I mean, the first episode was really good, I felt, and like it was actually like sort of giving us more details on stuff in this era of the Star Wars universe.
Hmm.
But then, like, I feel like hopefully the direction sticks on this first episode rather this like sort of random misleading like quest
Hmm.
that they went on, and I hope it's not all about that going forward.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it was a disappointment to be honest. Like and I come from like a position where like I like the Mandalorian, but I feel like a lot of its episodes, even in season 1, didn't feel like main plot. I mean, some did, some didn't. That was just my opinion. That's how I took upon it. I mean, are there any other like closing ideas that you want to put?
Um, I'm just curious to see how all these rumored characters we've heard about for months are actually gonna be in this season. Well, cause like I mean, we kind of already got one that was rumored, which was Boba Fett,
Mm.
but and like the Marshal, but hopefully like if those characters are gonna be in the future episodes, like hopefully they actually have a plot that like adds to the larger like context of the Baby Yoda like um storyline, and it's not like just some random like, oh hey, it's Ahsoka, and then like the next episode, like it's just something else.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem like it gave us a lot, and obviously, like, we want the plot to be there, so I think going forward, the most important idea is that, they keep main to the series and they don't try to make the series something it's not, which is a filler pool. We've seen a lot of
Yeah,
that in the last couple years, so it could turn to be a disappointment, it could not.
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess those were our thoughts on this episode. We'll see what happens on Friday, and hopefully the episode's better than this. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought.